As a writer, how do you use your storytelling ability to you talked a little bit about, ripping people's hearts out. Share with us
Yeah.
kind of as a writer, how do you use your storytelling ability to build bridges to people that may have been on even both sides of that COVID thing? How do you make sure you connect those two with your storytelling?
It's a complex question. I don't think I set that out as a goal. In other words, I'm not when I'm when I took the reader back to the spring of 2020, when it was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I took them back to the fall and started seeing how the virus was developing. People thought it was a bad flu. And as things continued to escalate, as a writer, I'm presenting factual information. Okay. So that's part of it. You can't build bridges, if you would, if you're gaslighting people, that misinformation type of thing. So part of it is just storytelling, but being truthful about it, sticking to the basic facts. Okay, so then people couldn't visit their relatives in nursing homes. People died alone. Okay, it happened. So if I put a mirror up in front of someone and say, okay, this is what it looked like. Okay, what are we going to conclude? Well, it could never happen again. Or what was the response of leadership of government to it? Well, they shut down schools for a year. We were the only country in the world that did that, and what's the impact? And so, yeah, it gets heavy really quick, but I'm not, I don't have necessarily a call to action in that regard, but I paint enough of a picture where it's like, wow, people's lives can get ripped apart very easily. Destruction is easy, you know?
As someone who's been involved in construction and also destruction in terms of telling a story down
Yeah.
and telling again, kind of walk us through what is it like? What was some of the hardest bridges you had to build in your life?
Yeah. Thanks for giving some questions beforehand because I was able to think about this. The hardest one I ever built was the one that I didn't build.
Mm.
Do you know what parental alienation is?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Uh, it's basically where one parent will try to alienate the other parent by saying, you know, the other parent is the bad guy.
So, right,
And
dad's
if
no
you
good.
repeat dad, the thing is that if you repeat that to a child who are sponges at first, right? You can, if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes a fundamental truth. And so when I went through my divorce, it was like World War III, and I lost, right? So I didn't have communication with my daughter who was graduating college or graduating high school rather. I used my GI Bill so that she could go to UW Milwaukee, and but she didn't want to talk to me. I was the bad guy. But I tried to keep the communication open. I would send her a text every once in a while. I would send her a gift, on birthday and Christmas. She didn't want to talk to me for a long time, and people would say, "Well, she'll come back. Hopefully, cross your fingers." But what I did not do is disparage her mother because she had a relationship with her. So I didn't make things worse, and that could be bridge building. If you think about, I was in the Corps of Engineers, so with when you talk about physically building a bridge, right? You have to have solid footing on both sides,
Right.
and you're probably going to build from both sides towards the middle, but you're not going to make it worse for yourself. So I guess the patience, the example that you can set, being open to communication in this regard, and eventually she came back, and lo and behold, she's you know a Christian now. And for a while, I thought she was going to turning into a godless atheist or a godless communist, something like that. But she flipped. But she turned on a dime, and now we're doing good.
Yeah, the bridge you didn't
But
build. I like that.
well, it's like God's always working on your behalf, right? Why people don't want blessings is beyond me. But they don't know to ask or what have you. So sometimes you have to just let it be and just do a few little things, see that you're still in the game and wait for that opportunity, I guess. It's tough.
It is tough.